Alright there, today we're going to do a throttle cable. Swap the throttle cable on EP3 type R, which is behind me. Just in case the throttle cable's stretched, knackered, snap, whatever, I'll show you how to do that. This is the cable I'm going to use on the floor there. That's from a DC5, so it's slightly longer because I'm going to reroute it slightly. So let's have a look at the first things we need to do is obviously open the bonnet, and then you can see where the throttle cable runs. Right, so there you go, throttle cable attached to your throttle body. And now originally these run through there, and there's a metal bracket that sits kind of there, and it's clipped into that metal bracket there. And the cable is also clipped into, if I can show you it, I think mine's actually out, but yeah, there's a little clip there that it just clips into. You can see that little hoop there, so you need to pop it out of that little clip as well. And then it runs in past your brake servo, down there, and then there's a plastic kind of locking thing which comes from the other side that you need to undo, and then you can pull it out, which pulls into the cabin, and you need to take it off your throttle pedal as well. So dead straightforward. First off, we will loosen this side here, sorry, and then remove the throttle cable from the throttle body. It's like a little T sort of bolt piece on the end of the cable, like a little sort of ball thing. So I'll do that first, and then I'll pull that out to there, and then we will go into the car. You may need two 12mm spanners on that, one to grab on that side obviously, but I didn't. Mine just come loose, so that's good. So just wind that off there, so then that cable can lift out of there. Put that up there. And then my throttle cable, because this is obviously a different throttle body. Same concept though, it's just round on this turny thing. Pop the cable out of there, gives it a little bit of free play. Pull the T-bar end out. That's that. Right, so you need to wind this nut all the way down. See, there's like a little smoother part there where there's no threads. That's the part we need to get past. Once you're about there, like that, you can then pull that, your smoother part fits out. There's your throttle cable off your throttle body. Now of course, I've wedged mine under my air filter and zip tied it down here, so I'll have to cut that zip tie off. Normally you'd have it clipped into a bracket there, as I say. I'll try and get a picture of that. Pop it out of the bracket, pop it out of that bracket, and then you're good to go in the car. Cable now loose and ready to come out. Now we'll put it into the car. It involves opening the car door. Right, so right hand side is your throttle pedal, obviously. Now that'll have nothing, no tension right now because it's removed from the throttle body. And what we need to do is we need to get this panel, this plastic panel here, out, and then we can see. And we should have like a kind of end on the throttle cable. The throttle pedal, we need to pull off the throttle pedal, which will come out, and above it in the bulkhead there'll be a plastic sort of kind of part on the cable. We need to turn it, I don't know which way, left or right, I can't remember, we'll find out. Turn that, and then we can pull the entire cable out into the cabin. So let's get this panel off first, and then we can go from there. Right, so if you see up there, that's how it's connected to your throttle pedal. So we pull the white clip part out there, pull out of the pedal, and then if you look behind it, you can see that big black circle there. Turn that by hand. Which way it goes again, I can't remember. Let's go. Yeah, it goes the normal way. Just loosen our throttle cable off. Allow us to pull it all the way out. Right, I'll stop this because my hand's in the way and you can't see. Right, so black plastic part that's the back there, right in the bulkhead behind the cable, turns anti-clockwise. It's roughly either half turn or a quarter turn. You can feel it click as it comes out. It becomes loose. And that there is the throttle cable, now ready to pull out. Well, it would be if it's not stuck on something, but let's have a look. You have to feed it down from the engine bay, I imagine. See it there? It's just got the T-bar end that's stuck on something. It might go quicker. Yeah, there we go. On throttle cable. Right, okay, so that there's the EP3 throttle cable. That's off my car, and that's why it's got gold tape on it, just because it was quite close to the manifold and I didn't want it to melt. So I need this rubber piece here because I haven't got this on this cable. And this cable here is the one that's off a DC5. As you can see there already, it's a good, what, 1.5 foot, maybe longer, maybe a bit longer than that. I don't need these brackets and stuff, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this round the other side of the engine bay. So instead of it coming out of there, round that, then the throttle body, I'm going to run it that side in front of the engine, underneath the inlet manifold and back up, because it should have enough space to do that. So first things first we need to do is get that rubber O-ring sort of thing off there. Oh no, it's got one, sorry. Does have one on the cable. Fit that back into there, but then need to feed this entire cable back into the engine bay. Clip this back into the bulkhead the same way we removed it. Attach it to the pedal, and then we can run this all the way where we want to, using zip ties to keep it in place. I imagine if there's nothing else I can use it to, I'll just zip tie it to other stuff that runs that direction, because I've got brake booster pipe runs that way, which is one of those down there. That's clutch line and brake booster. I ran them the other side, so I'm just going to follow them so it can come up. Kind of hopefully the cable's going to come up there and go onto there. Make it look a bit neater as well, slightly. So, right, I'll feed it through the engine bay. Feed it through into the engine bay from inside the car, and then we can start putting it back together. One thing I've noticed is the DC5 has ever so slight different end on it. That's the DC5 one, that's the EP3 end. That's flat and that's got like a tiny little sort of piece there, but it fits like that, and that clips into the pedal, and that's exactly the same, so it should be alright. I can't see it being different. Well, that's quite a bit fatter if you look as well than that one. But as long as that clips into the pedal, and that's going to fit the bulkhead because that's the same size looking at it, so that should be okay, and definitely fits the throttle body anyway. So let's have a go. So we have the DC5 cable ending. If you're not familiar with laying upside down in your car on the driver's seat doing things two-handed backwards, then well, you should probably get used to it, especially on a Honda. So that's that fitted in there. We just need to attach this end here to the cable, to the pedal, which just the white bit clips in, and then that means that's all done. And then reattach the other end to the throttle body, and we will run it a different way around the engine bay, and then we can put this cover back on as well, because you don't need any of that. Look at all that rubbish wiring I did for them LED lights. I might get rid of them because they're a bit naff, but well, I don't know, we'll see. Right, so end of cable into throttle pedal, cover back on, engine bay time. Right, originally I wanted this cable to follow these other pipe there, clutch line and the brake booster pipe, follow around and go under, but as you can see it's just too short, it's not going to work. And it's only just too short, I know, but it's never going to come back up there and meet the throttle body, so we're going to adjust that slightly. It's a bit of a shame, but still I can make it do what I want it to do, roughly. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it straight past there. It's going to come straight out there, and I'm going to put a zip tie in this crafty hole that's already there, which is then going to stop it hitting anything else, so it should hold that right there. And I'll also put one down there to keep it in there, should keep it away from that pulley, and that there is going to give us plenty of length to go underneath the inlet manifold and back to where we want it. So I think what I'll do is I'll put a cable underneath the inlet onto the throttle body, and then I'll sort out making that secure, because there's definitely some places I can attach it to, because I can attach it to those pipes down there which shouldn't move, and I can attach it down there with a zip tie as well. It's not in the way of anything running sort of that way, there's no problem. It's basically just this pulley here, that should work pretty well. Just need to make sure I keep that away from there. That's it really, job done. Just looks a tiny bit neater because you haven't got anything coming across the top of your engine at all. It's not sticking underneath your air filter, it's just looping itself back around. Works pretty well for me. Slight change, the bracket that was originally on the throttle cable, I've flattened that side off as you can see, and it actually is going to bolt rather nicely on there. Give me plenty of clearance, plenty of space, plenty of room, and actually look pretty good. There's already a tapped hole there which it will bolt up nicely to, and I have a bolt for it in the garage. So that's pretty decent. So that's what I'm going to do with that, and then we'll call that complete.